With staffing at the New Orleans Police Department at an all-time low, we have seen the negative impact of less visibility, bigger call backlogs, and longer response times.
Now, investigative reporter Mike-Perlstein has obtained exclusive internal documents showing just how bad that problem is and how one police district in particular sees the worst of it.
We heard from New Orleans East business owner Mamba Eula last month, right after her spiritual supply store was burglarized and ransacked.
The store was just destroyed.
But she didn't call us because of the burglary. She reached out after she called police, but got no response.
And we waited, and we waited, and we waited.
Eula gave up by the time officers arrived more than 12 hours later. But Channel 4 was there the next day when, after Eula went to the 7th District Police Station, officers finally met up with her.
The crime is running rampant in the East. And it is like we almost in a no man's land out here.
Statistics confirm Eula's concern. Data compiled by the Metropolitan Crime Commission shows that during the first quarter of the year, the 7th, which covers New Orleans East, ranked worst in every category of violent crime, including homicide, shootings, and robberies. It was tied with the 3rd District for the most carjackings.
Actually, they're first in every violent crime category.
The first 3 months matches a trend that has been going on for years. MCC President Rafael Goyeneche.
The 7th District is, for the last several years at least, the district with the highest crime rate.
The City Council's crime dashboard echoes those findings. So far this year, the 7th has had the most police calls at more than 13,000. And the police response time to those calls was by far the longest in the city, an average of more than 3.5 hours. That's more than double what was seen in the 2nd District, which covers much of Uptown, Hollygrove, and Gertown, or the 4th, covering Algiers.
We can't continue to cultivate this district. We can't continue to grow this district if these are the response times.
District E Councilman Oliver Thomas said he frequently hears complaints from constituents about slow, or in some cases, no police response.
That the police haven't showed up yet. That in many cases the incident is well over.
These internal police memos obtained exclusively by Channel 4 reveal the depth of the problem. The emailed memos, called tour of duty reports, were written by captains who oversee district patrols citywide. From November through February, they show that the 7th District routinely had the largest backlogs of unanswered calls of any of the 8 districts. For example, the memo showed that during the night shift on February 21st, the backlog for calls for service in the 7th District was 48 calls, while the next highest backlog was in the 1st at 27 calls. A couple of the calls, the captain noted, had been holding for more than 30 hours. Late last year, on the evening of December 16th, there was a backlog in the 7th District of 64 calls. The total backlog for all other 7 districts combined was 58. Later that night, the backlog grew to 74 calls, including Code 1 non-emergency calls holding for 2.5 days, and even a Code 2 emergency holding for 11 hours.
The documents that you have collected there basically are a byproduct of the declining numbers of police officers.
The backlogs are largely because of the NOPD's crisis-level shortage of officers, now standing at an all-time low of about 915 cops. All parts of the city suffer, but none nearly as much as New Orleans East. The problem is exacerbated by the fact that the 7th District has the largest geographical area.
The people who live here deserve the same attention that people are getting in gentrified black neighborhoods now.
On some shifts, such as this night in early December, officers from other districts had to be redirected to the 7th.
I mean, obviously it's unacceptable, and maintaining the status quo is not going to address it.
Aside from the numbers, some of the memos include observations and recommendations from the captains. In this note, Captain Michael Glasser notes the, quote, severely disparate backlog in the 7th and applauded the officers there for providing the best possible service under very demanding circumstances. He then suggests analyzing the data to come up with solutions such as redeploying more officers or changing district boundaries.
We have to change something, or we are basically dooming ourselves to suffering through this.
Thomas said he discussed the problem with interim police chief Michelle Woodfork.
But I'm encouraged by the fact that the chief said any extra will come to the people in the 7th District.
But future plans are little consolation to people like Mamba Eula. The owner estimated her damages at more than $10,000, so serious that she has not been able to reopen.
I'm really torn between staying here and moving my store into a more secure area where I know if anything happened that the police is not going to hesitate to come, that they're going to be right there.
Mike Perlstein, Eyewitness News.
In a statement, NOPD Interim Superintendent Michelle Woodfork wrote that a fifth of the emergency calls in the city come from the 7th District. To help reduce response time, she wrote that, quote, the 7th District has supplemented manpower by deploying district detectives and administrative personnel to assist with emergency calls for service. In the last 14 days, we have seen an almost 5-minute reduction in response times compared to the previous 14 days.